Hello Sim Rally fans and welcome back to Rally Technical, and I'm back with yet another project setups video for you, giving you 10 amazing new setups to enjoy. So if you prefer to optimize your performance by focusing on your racing lines and not having to go through the grueling and time consuming task of setting up the car first, then you've come to the right place. And this week we're diving into the high octane world of the Rally 1 cars with the 2024 Toyota Yaris Rally1 Hybrid. So let's take a quick look at the Yaris's illustrious but short history in the World Rally Championship. The Yaris made its debut back in 2017, and in its debut season it clinched its first rally victory at Rally Finland and secured a commendable third place in the constructors' standings by the end of that season. From then on, Toyota did not hold back. By the end of 2018, they had secured the Constructors' title, and in 2019 and 2020, they won the Drivers' title with Ott Tänak and Sebastian Ogier respectively, though they narrowly missed out on the Constructors' title in both of those seasons. Then came 2021, with new regulations introducing a standard hybrid boost system across all cars. Officially entering the Rally 1 category, Toyota wasted no time, dominating with the Yaris Rally1 Hybrid and clinching 3 consecutive drivers and constructive titles in 2021, 22 and 23. However, the tide seems to have shifted in 2024. With 2 rallies left, they sit second in the constructors' standings, 17 points adrift of first. It appears Kalle Rovanpera's decision to run a half calendar season to focus on home life could potentially cost Toyota a chance at securing a 4th consecutive constructors title. Let's take a look at the performance specs of the Yaris Rally1 Hybrid. This powerhouse boasts over 500 brake horsepower and over 500 Newton meters of torque, rivaling that of the old Group B cars. This is largely thanks to its dual power sources. It has a 1.6 litre turbocharged internal combustion engine and a FIA standard hybrid boost system. The hybrid boost system consists of 3 key parts housed in a carbon fibre shell: 3.9 kilowatt hour battery, an inverter battery management system, and a motor generator unit, or MGU for short. The basic principle of the hybrid boost system is to convert kinetic energy from the braking on the rear axle into electrical energy and store it in the battery for when the driver applies the throttle. Drivers can cancel that boost at any time, lifting off the throttle or pressing the brake pedal, and use that boost when they really need it. In the real world competition, teams can fully customize their boost maps for the optimal power usage on a stage by stage basis and the charge of the battery level. But in EA Sports WRC, we only have 3 basic options to choose from. These options only change the throttle travel, activation and deactivation points. Those 3 options are cautious at 70% throttle, balanced at 50% throttle, and aggressive at 30% throttle. Your choice will largely depend on your driving style, and secondly, the stage layout. In EA Sports WRC, if you cancel the boost, you will have to recharge the system again to get another boost. When I was creating these setups, I opted to use the cautious setting throughout. However, my braking style posed a bit of a problem since I tend to apply a minimal braking approach to the corners, which is not ideal for recharging the hybrid boost system. I certainly didn't manage to get the best out of it during my week of testing. It's also crucial to refrain from applying more than 10% throttle while braking, because if you do, the system will not regenerate, which is another thing that I do that's not ideal for the hybrid boost system. When I was testing the default setups, the initial drive felt alright, and I do believe the default setups will serve new players very well, but when I started to push, and I mean really push, I found it lacked the lateral grip in the corners that I was expecting, not to mention the brake balance, which was way too far to the rear. It was making me go too sideways in the heavy braking zones, and often I was doing full 180s if I even had the slightest bit of rotation going into the corners, so I had to make some serious adjustments to get the best out of it and climb those leaderboards. Firstly, I had to play around with that brake bias, and I ended up pushing it far forward. So far forward, in fact, further than the Rally 2 car setups. But this is largely down to the drag of the hybrid boost system. Once I pushed that brake balance even further forward, this stabilised things considerably going into the corners, and I finally felt like I could start attacking those corner entries. From there, I could focus on enhancing the lateral grip, but after creating all the setups with my usual suspension settings, this left me feeling there was not enough weight transfer and there was more time to be had in the corners. I was also having to adjust my braking style considerably to activate the hybrid boost system, which did not help my times, as all my times were still outside the top 10. Not far out, but still out. So I went on for a second round of suspension tweaks, and I started to play around with the slow rebound settings in particular, shifting them 1 or 2 below my usual slow bump settings rather than my usual 1 above. This drastically improved the weight transfer, lateral grip in the corners, and kept the wheels on the ground for longer when the surface got rough. And with just tweaking the slow rebound itself, I managed to improve my stage times by about 1 to 1.5 seconds, which was a considerable improvement for just 2 clicks on the dampers. With the lateral grip finally sorted out, I could then focus my attention on the high-speed straight line stability and the corner exits when the hybrid boost system kicks in. So, to do this, I increased the rear toe in from my usual 0.2 settings to somewhere in the region of 0.7 and 1.0 across all the setups, resulting in a much more stable rear end. However, going that high on the rear toe in now left the car understeering into and out of the corners. So I set about regaining that corner rotation myself and you have become accustomed to over the years. So I increased the front toe out by 1 and lowered the front anti-roll bar until the front end pulled back into line and eradicated the understeer from the Toyota Yaris Rally1 Hybrid, and improving my stage times as a result, finding another 0.5 seconds over a stage, totaling to around 2 seconds time improvement. Those additional adjustments from my usual finally propelling me into setting consistent top 10 times. So I didn't just set up the car once, I did it multiple times. Such is my commitment to giving you the best possible setups I can. So Sim Rally fans, that's how these 10 carefully crafted setups came to be as they are for the 2024 Toyota Yaris Rally1 Hybrid. Give them a try. Focus on mastering that hybrid boost system, as I certainly couldn't. There is a lot of time to be had if you do. So that was stage 1 from the newly added Rally Latvia and a little bit of stage 3 from Rally Estonia. The setup used in both runs was a gravel firm dry setup. As you can see on screen now, this is where all my setups were created and the recommendations for each location. This is not a hard and fast rule, it's more of a helpful guide for you to choose. Everyone has a different preference when it comes to how soft or firm the suspension is, so feel free to play around with different combinations. Now, let's take a look at that all-important leaderboard, and as expected, the Rally 1 category leads the pack by a substantial margin, but it could have been larger. So I want to share with you some insights about why I think that. I'm relatively new to using the hybrid boost system, even though the game has been out nearly a year now. This is the first time of actually setting up a Rally 1 car properly attacking a stage, which can complicate how we interpret my times. I've been analysing my stage runs and I realised something telling. Looking at my theoretical best times, I think I could shave up around 1 to 1.5 seconds from each stage if I just had more experience running with the hybrid boost system. Typically, for every class of car I've ran so far, my theoretical best times have been around 0.1 to 0.5 seconds faster than my actual stage times in all other classes, but my Rally 1 stage times were showing around about 2-second time difference from my actual times, which indicates a potential of the Rally 1 car going a full 2.5 minutes quicker than a Rally 2 car if I could have just used the hybrid boost system a little bit better. You could argue that it's stage knowledge that's coming into play, but I know these stages like the back of my hand. So this insight really showcases the full potential of the Rally 1 class, combined with the possible hidden time that can be unlocked better hybrid system usage. The gaps you see in the times in the leaderboard may not fully reflect the capabilities of a driver due to factors like experience with the hybrid boost system. So next time you check the times on the leaderboard, remember that these times may not tell the whole story. Every racer has their potential, but it often takes time to unlock it fully. And for me, 1 week was not enough time. I could not fully master the hybrid boost system consistently. Hopefully next time I create setups for a Rally 1 car, I will. Now it's time for a little disclaimer, as it is impossible to run all 10 setups down every stage in the game on different tyre compounds and different levels of stage deck, so you may need to make changes to the setups you see in this video. So all the setups featured in this video were created in time trial mode, with the exception of the Monte-Carlo winter setup, which was running quick play with high stage degradation and is specifically for winter tyres only. As such, time trial setups are optimised for the softest tyre compound available at each location in the summer season. To maximise the grip levels for each tyre compound, you will need to adjust the anti-roll bars, brake pressure and differentials for the gravel setups featured in this video, brakes and diffs being the most important to get right. For asphalt setups, you will need to adjust the camber as well as what was mentioned for the gravel setups. To find out some general basics on how to change these setups to suit, please check out my car setups explained video in the video description. If you intend to run these setups on stage degradation higher than medium, you might have to raise the ride height by 1 or 2 clicks. Ideally, you should be using these setups as a better starting point than the default one to create your own, even if it is just a couple of minor changes here and there, as they were created by myself for my driving style, and as a result the setups might not be compatible with your driving style. That said, the setups you're about to see are a substantial improvement over the default setups if you have the necessary driving skills to extract the time out of them. On a side note, my car setups will not make you a better driver. However, by giving you a well-balanced setup, I can make you more of a consistent driver, which will then give you the opportunity to be a faster driver. I highly recommend that when trialing these setups for the first time, head off into time trial mode and trial them not just once but multiple times on the stages that I set them up on, to get a better grasp of why I have changed the settings to what I have, even going as far as comparing it with back-to-back runs with the default or the setup that you were using previously. And finally, and most importantly, I hope you enjoy the setups I've created, or at the very least find them a useful starting point for your own. If you've found this video helpful, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more rally car setups and technical breakdowns, so you can get your hands on them first and help optimize the YouTube algorithm so more players can find my work. Until next time, keep your foot pinned over the jumps. I'll see you in the next one. Here come the setups.